my channel this year, I've been obsessed with buying less but buying better and choosing the right pieces for our wardrobe. Over the course of the year, my wardrobe has halved in size. I've been repeating the same outfits again and again, and I no longer want that very big wardrobe with a lot of range. Instead, I want something more curated, more edited, with only the pieces that I 100% am in love with. So in today's video, let's talk about the best and worst purchases of 2025. What felt impactful, creative, functional, and then on the flip side, what felt like a waste of money in hindsight. I'll be covering my purchases from about September 2024 because that's about 1 year. And I always like this video to come out before Black Friday, before Christmas, so I can take a moment now to pause, to reflect on what works and what doesn't, so I don't go into Black Friday buying random things that I don't need. I'm bringing you this video today with Ideal. I've purchased from them myself, placed multiple orders in the past, and it's always such a pleasure to work with brands making beautiful things. Let's start off today with the item that is 100% expected, but I had to include because I think it's a really good framework of what a good purchase looks like in my wardrobe. I'm talking about my Dowen Leanne dresses. I was looking for the perfect fits, the perfect details, and I found that in this dress because I love the bodice, I love the length, I love the structure of the poplin and how all these things combine really well together. Sometimes I'll get questions about what is worth spending money on, what isn't, and I think it comes down to what you genuinely wear 3 seasons, 4 seasons of the year. What that looks like for your climate as well as your day-to-day lifestyle. Dresses I wear the entire year, so it's so much easier for the cost per wear of this item to come down, and I can't say the same about coats and jackets now that I think about it. I've given so many reasons already, but these also wash very well because they're 100% cotton. Had these been in viscose or silk or a slightly fussier material, I would be a lot more precious with them and I won't wear them, I think, as often as I do. So if you live a casual lifestyle, if you want to get a lot of wear from a certain piece, make sure it's in an easy care fabric. Something I've repeated multiple times in my videos this year is asking yourself if you could only have one, if this is the version you would buy. For me, both of these dresses are the version I'll buy, and multiple times this year when I was looking at a white dress or a black dress that also felt beautiful, I didn't end up getting them because I knew I had a really good option in my wardrobe already. Similar options. The Dowen Quinn dress is very similar, except it's a little bit lighter, a little bit more flowy. Uniqlo makes a very similar one, especially during the summer months, and it's honestly got a lot of the same details. Chrissy Dawn make a few very lovely black and white dresses in this style, and honestly, it's just about finding one that you like all the details on, no matter where that's from. Let's talk about 2 worst dress purchases. One I actually did buy and one I am so happy I didn't. So the one I didn't is this one from Brandy Melville. I like the look of this dress, especially on the hanger. It was just like a very pretty white dress. I was tempted. But in the change room, I think there were some little issues with the fit because it's like one size, which is crazy. It obviously just didn't fit very well. Overall, I still liked it. In the past, I would definitely have purchased it, but it was just reminding myself if I had to choose one, this would not be the one I would choose. I'm honestly so glad I put this back because this is the kind of item where I would get a few weeks or months of excitement out of it, but then eventually I'm not gonna wear it because I don't prefer it to the item I have. Honestly, the quality wasn't great either because looking at this photo, it's a little bit sheer, and I think because I've owned a few of their other pieces, it always ends up like fraying somewhere and it doesn't hold up as well as I want my clothes to. Something I love and then something else I regret are these Realization Par dresses. So the first one in green I adore. This is such a beautiful dress. It's 100% silk. It's cut on the bias. It drapes incredibly well. And it's one of the most flattering dresses I think I've ever put on. Because I got the green and I found myself wearing it in more ways than I thought I would, I then got the yellow. The yellow one I kind of regret buying. The reason I don't wear the yellow as much is because it's not quite as functional in my opinion as the green. I bought these dresses to wear as like a going out dress, and I think the green color is more in keeping with like an elegant evening dress. This pattern leans itself a bit more to a daytime dress, but I tend to wear silk dresses more at night, so I just don't reach for it as much. I also feel like even though these are the same cut, the vibe is completely different. The green feels a bit more pared back and subtle. The yellow and red feels a bit more eye-catching and more like something I would wear on a holiday. Over the course of the year, I will say I've also been through a pretty big lifestyle change where I was living in an apartment early this year. I was going out at night, I would say a lot more than I am now. So it's just not gotten the wear that I would hope to get out of it, considering Realization Part is pretty fancy with their silk dresses. One of my best purchases, best finds of the year is the Uniqlo linen blend blouse. This is a really good dupe of the Douyin June top, which, you know, Douyin's always a little bit expensive, but I think this is a very, very good option for getting the same look. It's got those little puff sleeves, it's in a very billowy silhouette. I like it not just for the way it looks, but I mentioned in a recent video that the stitching, the way it's made, the detailing is all done extremely well. And this is an item that genuinely, I was surprised at how much I love and wear it. This is a piece that's still in stock in Sydney for the spring-summer season. But if you're elsewhere, this is something that they bring back at Uniqlo in the spring and summer. And they always do versions of this as well. Whether that's in a long sleeve with like billowy sleeves, or whether that's a short sleeve like this one. Let me show you my jewelry combination and some of the pieces I'm wearing today from Ideal. One of my best purchases late 2024 is the Lucia. This is an item that I purchased myself. I placed an order for end of 2024, and it's still one of my absolute favorite Ideal pieces. The way Ideal jewelry works is that it's modular, so you can get the stud, wear the stud alone, and then you can also purchase some of their add-ons to create different looks using that same stud. Now, you may not have as many piercings as I do, but you can get this one stud and then just change the add-on for different looks. I love this modular concept because it just gives me some ways to mix and match a couple of the pieces I had from them. The piece I bought, Lucia, I would still say is one of my favorites. I love the way it climbs like up the yi and follows the curve of the yi, and it has that floating look, which I especially love in Ideal's add-ons. Next to the Lucia, I've got on the Paris. The Paris is a dangly add-on. It's got 3 of these pear-shaped diamonds, and I like that it just gives a bit of movement, a lot of sparkle in the ear stack. To be honest, it's perfectly sufficient alone, but I have just maxed it out today with the Lucia as well. I often do reach for the Estelle add-on as well, which is a marquee diamond, and when I'm feeling like a hoop, I'll do the Luna. All of Ideal's diamonds are lab-grown instead of earth mined. The diamonds they select are super, super sparkly, and lab-grown diamonds do have the same scientific makeup as a natural diamond. Ideal is also from Antwerp, the diamond capital of the world. They take their packaging seriously as well. Comes in this really lovely box. You often get little gift with purchases. These are amazing for travel, and also the pouches. If you'd like to learn more about Ideal, if anything's caught your eye, every piece I'm wearing will be linked down below. I do have a discount code with them, which I'll pop on the screen, and all the information will be in the description box as well. Going back again to worst purchases and to Black Friday of last year, I placed an order with Lisa Says Gar. This might have been the only purchase I placed Black Friday last year, but even then it was not a good one. So I got 2 t-shirts. A long sleeve t-shirt with this like martini glass, and then the short sleeve t-shirt with these 2 shells. Oddly, the pattern, the shell pattern was extremely unflattering, I think, on my body type. I just think the positioning of it is like not quite what I wanted. These didn't work because honestly, starting with the silhouette, I found them to be too clingy, too thin, and not enough structure. With the t-shirts I like, there is just a little bit more room or a little bit more structure so that it's not clinging to me as much. I think the graphics were not that in line with my personal style, but most importantly, I had t-shirts I absolutely loved and prefer over all other t-shirts, so this never really had a very good chance. Let's talk about one of my best purchases in beauty. Not everything has to be an upgrade to be a good purchase. I don't want to give the impression that purchases are good because I've upgraded them. Sometimes it's really about alignment and making sure you're getting exactly what you want. Something I did this year is that I found dupes for all the expensive beauty products that I was using. I previously was using a lot of NARS, a lot of Hourglass. I had that Chantecaille Just Skin BB cream thing. I found dupes for pretty much all of these items. This was one of my best purchases because when I look at my routine now, I can't tell the difference, and I'm just so happy with these products that I have found. In Australia, makeup is a lot more expensive than it is maybe in the US. So an Hourglass powder or a NARS powder is sometimes getting close to like $100. And I could just no longer justify that, so let me share with you my best beauty purchases and what they've replaced in my routine. My previous powder was the NARS Light Reflecting Powder and the Hourglass. The NARS and the Hourglass were similar in that they were both setting powders that gave you a glowy finish. So to replace that, I found these Can Make powders. I'll link it down below because, to be honest, I just don't know the exact name. This has the multi-colors, it's quite illuminating, but it leaves zero sparkle on the face. It's just like a nice non-matte setting powder. I never feel like it's too powdery, too matte. It gives a very natural, slightly glowy finish, which is what I wanted. And I will say this does a very similar thing. Natural, glowy finish. A lot of my products are Korean Japanese. Instead of the Chantecaille Just Skin or the Chantecaille BB cream, which I had used for a few years, beautiful in finish but just so expensive, I went back to this Misha cream that I used to use many years ago. It's not as glowy as the Chantecaille, but it's higher coverage. And it gets the job done in giving me a little bit of coverage but still looking like skin. Very natural. Instead of my NARS concealer, we have the Luna. Even the packaging looks a bit similar. This is a very high coverage concealer. The shade range is better than the NARS for me because I could never find my ideal shade in NARS. Natural looking, high coverage, and that's basically what I was looking for. Over the years, I've tried quite a few eyeliners from Urban Decay, NARS, Hourglass, mascaras from the big brands. These are the two best items I've ever used. This Heroin Make mascara I've used for 10 years. I've occasionally dabbled with other brands, but I always come back to this. It is by far the best mascara I've ever used, and I just no longer try anything new. If you're looking for an eyeliner but you don't want to spend Urban Decay prices, I really like the Clio liners. They're so fine, so it's really easy to get that very precise line. If you want something natural or if you want a tight line or something like that, you get a lot of precision with this pencil. When shopping, either for makeup or for clothes, it's so easy to be disappointed when something is overhyped. And sometimes what happens is that other people prioritize certain things, like more pigment, more coverage, more drama. And I like my makeup to be very subtle, very easy, and I just don't need the very expensive products to achieve what I'm looking for in my routine. In your wardrobe, in your makeup routine, there are probably sections of your wardrobe where it feels like you should upgrade because someone says it's a good buy, it lasts forever, but we don't have the same lifestyle, we don't have the same requirements. So make sure you're just aligning everything to what you prioritize. If you wear something like once a month, once a year, you may not need that super high quality version. If you like light, easy to use makeup, maybe you don't need the really fancy palette, and you can always adjust things so that they suit you. Another best purchase for me is anything and everything from Cuckoo Intimates. I discovered this brand end of 2024, but I purchased quite a few things over 2025. So today I'm actually wearing some of their like boxer short things. I often wear them when I'm working from home. I especially love them for their t-shirts, long sleeve cardigan style t-shirts, as well as the short sleeve versions. They recently came out in a red, which is really perfect for this time of year. These are 100% cotton t-shirts, and I always kind of roll my eyes when I recommend these because they're a bit expensive for what they are, which is a cotton t-shirt, but I have not been able to dupe them. I have this one from J. Crew here that I wanted to test, but it's not as good. The neckline, the wrist, it's just not as comfortable because they haven't thought out the details as well as Cuckoo Intimates. Organic cotton sometimes feels like a marketing gimmick, but this time round, I noticed how soft it is, especially when I compare it to something like Brandy Melville. If I compare it to J. Crew, it's really just not as soft, and this Cuckoo Intimates style feels more plush, a little bit more substantial. The t-shirt is quite light, the cardigan is a bit more substantial. This boxer short is a new discovery. I love the pattern of these and the fact that they're a little bit longer, so possibly could get away as like a lounge short. Again, going back to the fact that these are pieces I wear every single day. And by elevating these simple pieces, it feels like it elevates my everyday outfit, all of my everyday outfits. Whereas getting that really nice coat that I only wear one season, or that blazer that I only wear maybe once every few weeks now, is not as good of a buy as these t-shirts are for me in my current lifestyle. I've really tried hard to dupe these. I found a few from Brandy Melville that were really pretty. I would say they even look nicer than these because it's got like different accents, but I had that for about 6 months. I wore them exactly the same amount, which is every single week. And the neckline of that one started to fray. So it was not quite a dupe in quality, even though it was a dupe in that they looked similar. I always include bags and shoes in my yearly best and worst. Most used best bag purchases would be my Dragon Diffusion from end of 2024. This bag is just easy, it's slouchy, and it has really good capacity. So it fits everything I want it to and more. I also find slouchy bags just really easy to get in and out of. So when I want something easy, which I always do, it's this bag. I would say this has a very similar functionality. It just opens, fits a lot, slouchy, so I reach for it more often than other bags. In terms of styling this year, I've been fairly lazy. I've been more busy with kind of moving and whatnot. So my priority is easy, and these just ticked the boxes for that. With the Rouge basket bag, I purchased this in May this year. It's not so much exactly this style or exactly this brand. I'm sure that another brand will make one kind of cheaper and the same quality. It's more this particular slouchier style that I find very functional. In the past, I was using a lot of structured basket bags that were kind of just more difficult to use, more difficult to travel with, whereas this style is the most functional. Onto shoes. I am so repetitive with my shoes. I very rarely have shoe favorites because I walk a lot, and the shoes that I can wear are generally just not that exciting. This year I discovered the Cezanne Vicky loafers. I adore this style. It's like a T-bar style, and I love it alone and with socks. I've been doing the sock and loafer with everything, so this shoe looks great both ways. I want to share quickly the wear and tear. There is definitely some scratching on this shoe. The leather gets marked up quite quickly. So if you want it to be 100% perfect, no scratches, I don't recommend this leather choice. But if you're okay with some scratches and marks, but it still looks, good, I would recommend this style a lot. The sole in this shoe is quite supportive, it's quite comfortable, and as someone who doesn't really love Cezanne shoes, has had some issues with them in the past, this is a style that I'm really getting along with. I've been wearing it every single day almost since getting it, but this is a purchase from definitely later in the year. Also a moment for these shoes from Toast. These are really gorgeous, Italian, extremely well made loafers. Compared to Cezanne ones, I got a question on what the difference was. I will say these are a lot more masculine. They're very squared off, more boxy, masculine looking, compared to the softer Cezanne version. I will say this is much better in quality, but with that, it's maybe a little less comfortable. It needs a much longer break-in time compared to the Cezanne. So for casual days, I'm still reaching for my Cezanne, and these shoes are still a little bit stiff, so still in the process of really breaking them in, but I love the quality and I love the way they look. By far my favorite purchase all the way back from January is my Sammy and Nael in the olive green. I love this set so much in navy. I discovered this one a couple of years back now, but in this shade of green, it's been an absolute dream this year. I've been trying to put my finger on it. First thing is cotton merino. So this is a perfect match to the climate I live in. It's not overly warm where I'm gonna suffocate in all this wool, but it gives just the right amount of warmth for autumn going into winter. And for winter. This particular shade of color is my favorite color to wear. So anytime I see this color, I just know it's gonna be a win in my wardrobe. I like that this set is both fitted, but not too much. It's fitted in that it kind of hugs the body, but at the same time, it's got a certain thickness and structure to it, so the material is not clinging to your figure either. All of these things combined together just honestly makes it a perfect piece. If I want more coverage, I always leave the top sweater untucked, and then if I want it to be a bit more figure hugging, then I'll tuck in the top into the skirt. Something else I discovered, but it's a pretty recent discovery, so not a best yet, but maybe, is this set from J. Crew. This one is a slightly different function. This one is a bit more dressy. So this one fits a little bit closer to the body. It's a little thinner, but I love the way it looks styled because you can wear the top over the skirt and it feels really easy to wear, like the Sammy nail. At the start of the video, I mentioned that I've downsized my wardrobe a lot this year. It was partially because I was moving, it was partially because I just wanted more curation in my life. And because of that, it's been a very kind of non-risk-taking year in my fashion purchases, as you might be able to tell. But my favorite key piece has been the Dowen Sebastian skirt. The Dowen Sebastian skirt is a more voluminous skirt that hits at the top of my ankle, and it's got this cobalt blue, black, and cream check pattern that is kind of basic, but it's not. But this color combination of the cobalt with like a little bit of like a warmer cream tone alongside the black is not something I see very often. So it's basic but not. These are the items that I find the easiest to wear, the items that I wear the most, and the items that end up feeling the most special in my wardrobe because they work for that everyday occasion. Sometimes finding these basic but not items are what is going to elevate your wardrobe the most because they end up being the pieces you can wear day to day. Whereas those crazy pieces with really cool details are the things that I can only wear once every so often. I mean, not everyone. Some people have more statement style, so you can wear those more often. But for me, like, I'm not wearing those cool pieces every day. If you're looking for something for your wardrobe, don't just buy the first thing you see. Always shop around, compare the options. And I find that sometimes it's like a little detail, like a positioning of a little button, a little kind of bit of cream put into a pattern, a little detail that makes me love an item versus something that's just okay. Final worst purchases, this Sandro mini skirt. I knew this mini skirt was a bad idea, so I put it back, I put it on my wish list, and it sat there for a few months, and I couldn't stop thinking about it, so I eventually did purchase it. So this is a 100% wool skirt. It's beautiful in quality. It's got the beautiful kind of shape, which I love. The thing about this skirt is that it keeps on twisting. Every time I go out, like it keeps on twisting. And I find it very frustrating to wear. Because it's got the buttons, they're not the most secure. So again, I'm always thinking about the buttons, making sure they don't snap open. It's fine because I've got like shorts inside and whatnot, but it's just not a practical item. And it's not a good design. I wasn't expecting it to turn as much as it does. I feel like I have just not worn many mini skirts. I always go for skirts. For very good reason, because the mini skirt experience has been a very annoying one. Something I already mentioned around the mid-year point is the APC coat. This was a coat I was so excited to find because it's a beautiful brown color. I love brown coats, and I used to have this one from Mango, which a lot of you guys will remember. This coat I thought was the perfect like forever piece in my wardrobe because the quality was incredible. But just because the quality is great doesn't mean it's ideal for me, because this coat was super thick. It was super heavy. It was way too warm for my climate. And when I got it, I was just so overwhelmed by how beautiful the color was and how beautiful the style was that I kind of just ignored that. But no, it was way too heavy. It was way too warm. It was not the right piece. I did end up selling this on Bestiaire because someone else is going to wear this coat and enjoy it every day. But in my wardrobe, it was just sitting there waiting to be worn a few times a year. This is a big lifestyle thing where for my climate, I need to be able to figure out when I can wear it to ever justify a wintry purchase. Coats have to be light. They have to be light. Knitwear has to be not overly warm. Otherwise, there's just too few opportunities to get the cost per wear down for that item. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Those were my best and worst items. I would love to hear what were yours. Best and worst of the year, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you to Ideal for partnering with me again. Again, always just such a pleasure to work with brands who are making beautiful things. Have a lovely week and I'll see you next one. Bye.